This is Sarveshwari Krishnadas.
Oh, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
That's nice too.
I'm joining
Finally,
from India right now.
Oh, you are in India?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. You are for the Kartik, whole Kartik. I mean, you're going to stay there or you're coming back?
No, I will be at least until Janmashtami and a little later. Then I'll come back. I may not be able to stay all the way until Kartik month because my classes will start here at the university. So I must have to come back.
Please pray for me so I can advance and follow you. Please pray for all of us from the Zoom.
Of course.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course. That goes without saying.
You are so kind. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhujis and Matajis, then Ram. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. A very warm welcome and thank you very much to all of you for joining Parth Sarthi Foundation evening classes. We are very fortunate today that we have His Grace Pran Govind Prabhu in our house. Prabhuji is going to provide us the nectar of chapter 6, verses 46 and 47 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for accepting our humble request to teach the spiritual knowledge spoken by Lord Shri Krishna himself in Bhagavad Gita. Although I am not eligible to speak anything about Prabhuji, but I will try my best to give a very brief introduction about him. Pran Govind Prabhuji was born in Aminagara in East Pakistan in year 1962. He grew up with the Vaishnavas culture because his mother's father was a follower of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He used to witness Mahaprabhu's play and Vaishnava festivals in the Radha Krishna temple of his village, which led him to develop the desire to become a devotee at a very early age. He met His Holiness Charu Swami at the end of 1979 in the Krishna Balram temple in Vrindavan and later took initiation from Bhavanand Maharaj. From 1980 to 1989, he served as a facilitator of prasadam and accommodations for GBC, sannyasis, devotees, and life members. He also served as a life membership director and fundraiser for the Mayapur temple. In 1989, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj and His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj took him with them to travel across Europe. Then they brought him to America, where His Holiness Badri Narayan Maharaj and Mukund Swami Maharaj, who knew him from Mayapur, engaged him, cultivating Indian congregation service in San Diego, California. Prabhuji was married in 1989 to Her Grace Krishna Kanta Devi Dasi, who helped him grow further in the spiritual path. In 2003, with his wife and his 2 sons, Prabhuji moved to Alachua, Florida, where he took spiritual life very seriously. For many years, he has been serving the devotees in the Alachua temple with Krishna Katha in a steady group under his present Shiksha Guru, Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Almost every day, he counseled devotees to overcome their challenges in the spiritual path. He is always enthusiastic about looking to make new devotees and bringing them to the platform of becoming sincere, serious followers of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, if I've made any mistake while giving your introduction, please forgive me and also correct me. Let's welcome Prabhuji by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Now I'm requesting Prabhuji to take over the call and provide the nectar of today's topic to all of us. Hare Krishna, Hare Bol.
Thank you, Prabhu. Amit Prabhu. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Jashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana, Jashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana, Jamuna Tira Banachari, Jamuna Tira Banachari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Gaur Pramanande Hari Hari Bo, Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Pariprajagacharya Ashtatar Satarsi Siman. Srila Bhai Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anantakoti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गौ गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय। मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। भगवद गीता क्लास की जय। समवेत वैष्णव वृंद की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Te Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachane Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschata Deshatarine. Vancha Kalpa Tarivasya Kipa Sindhavaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasati Gaur Bhakta Binda Ki Jai. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nice to see you, Kit.
Jai Shri Krishna. Great to see you. Blessed love. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So, dear Prabhus and mothers, I'm very grateful to be here with all of you. Any opportunity comes to glorify Krishna, we take advantage of it. Because I'm fallen conditioned soul. By taking shelter of that opportunity, we purify our consciousness, transform our heart, and finally, we engage in beautiful, happy, joyful, devotional service eternally. So I'd like to welcome all of you on behalf of this beautiful Sangha they have created. Also, I'm very grateful to Srila Prabhupada for arranging this Sadhu Sangha through Zoom from anywhere in the world. You can join Patitaran Prabhu, join from Malaysia, and Sarva Ishwarja Prabhu from India, and you all are from America. So it's a very interesting. So by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, I'm eternally grateful to him. And I'm also eternally grateful to all the devotees who are taking so wonderfully your precious time, precious life to understand Krishna and glorify him. So I'm thankful to Hari Lila Prabhu and Amit Prabhu and all the group member. Today's verse, 6th canto, 6th chapter, last 2 verse, gives a very interesting point. So I'm just going to tell you how or what the conclusion we hopefully will come to. Do all the path leads to the same goal? If you ask that question, there are so many paths. Even within ISKCON, we have a different group. Do all path leads to the same goal? And Krishna will reveal that secret. Answer is yes, if one knows that same goal. So one has to know. Then yes, if karmis, yogis, jnanis, they all know that their ultimate goal is Krishna, then they adapt their path for transitional purpose of elevation and ultimately come to Krishna. Then all their path will lead to the same goal. With that note, let us begin this beautiful Srila Prabhupada's commentary on these two slokas. So I would request everyone to please pray, or you can in your own area, 3 times a beautiful form of Lord Krishna named Vasudev. He is the predominating deity of consciousness. If I ask a question to any one of you, where is the problem? What is conditional means? Is it the soul is conditional? Or our bhakti that we are getting is conditional? Or is it our nature is conditional? Or our consciousness is conditional? Conditional means something imposed. It's not pure. So what is it? Well,
Mind.
Sure.
Our consciousness.
Yes, very good answer. Whoever gave. Oh, Mother Krishna Manju Devi. Thank you for joining. Yes, it is our consciousness. When we say we are conditioned soul, fallen soul, the soul is not fallen. Soul is pure. Soul is a part of Krishna, Sachidananda. We are eternally beautiful. Every way we are complete, but in connection with Krishna. So we see in this world many paths, many karmi, jnani, yogi. Maybe we don't identify, or I would say they may not have T-shirt or a tag in their forefront that I'm karmi, I'm jnani. But by their action, you can identify. I met a guy, he said, I'm so busy, I don't have a time to think of God. I'm so busy, I have to take care of my family, business, this, that. I said, in our scripture, it says karmi. Karmi means you will be perpetually in this world. You will take birth again. I don't want to take birth. I said, well, then you don't have a time to talk about it. So at least take the book. Maybe when someday, I hope you get time to read it. So he took the book. So actually, these are called karmi. And then jnani also you'll find, I'm tired of life, trying to escape, get divorced, get out of a society, go away somewhere. They have some affinity, some inclination. Or they are actually searching for a place where they can escape from the whole world. That is called, they actually demonize the world. Prabhus and mothers, there are plenty of these people in America. We don't have to think like, we think Jnani is like somebody meditating in India, some Himalaya or mountain. No, they're all over the world. Karmis are all over the world. What the scientists are? Those scientists, those who are searching after how to improve the sense gratification by inventing or discovering something secret, they can cure the disease. These are all karmis. They're sophisticated karmis, you can say. That's all. They take a name, scientists. I mean, Keith is here. He's also a wonderful research man, philosophy. So let us begin this. So by chanting 3 times, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This is so beautiful. So thank you, Prabhupada, for introducing this. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritam Naranchaiva Naruttamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nastaprayesu Abhadresu Nitam Bhagavato Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistaki Mukhaṁ karati vācālam pangullangayate girim jati kripa tamaham bande Sri Guru Dinatarinam Jai Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Isharam Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschata Deshatani. All glories to assembled devotees and Srila Prabhupada. So if you have, you can follow the sloka together. We will read. Tapasya bohadhika. Tapashi abhadika, if you break it down, means, abhadika means, this is a comparative. Comparative, you compare one item with another item. So tapashibha, then the ascetic. Adhika, greater. So adhika, tapashi means, what is greater than ascetic? In every tradition, there is a austerity. Every tradition, there is austerity. And some kind of austerity. I saw people do austerity. And the austerity that they do, they are called tapashi. Tapashi is not somebody in Himalaya. I hope you all understand. We are talking about practical here. I know one Gujarati doctor, friend of mine, and every Monday he does fasting. I said, oh, very nice. But what's the purpose? Oh, I just grow up like this. Every Monday, I'm doing fasting. It's good for health. So I said, you are some kind of tapashi. You are doing austerity. He said, yeah. And he lives here in California. So there are many. I mean, there are thousands and thousands all over. Every city you will find they do some kind of austerity. So this is, he says, what is greater than ascetic? This is the Krishna himself revealing. Tapas abhedi adhiko yogi. So Krishna is saying greater yogi. First of all, he is promoting yoga. Yogi is greater than ascetic. Why? That question should come. Why? Then Geni bho opi mato adhika. So greater than, yogi is greater than ascetic. Now Krishna is saying yogi is greater than empiricist. Who is empiricist? They demonize the world. They literally demonize the world. They will say everything about the world bad. They want to run away from it. You will meet them. There are not too many, maybe, but they are there. Even amongst your own family or relatives. I'm tired of life. They will say like this. They want to run away. they demonize the world. And what karmis, they romanticize the world, just the opposite. Even though there is a problem, but they will say, but if I make this way, I can profit, whatever it is. They literally figuring out, always they think the whole enjoyment. And there is another group, there is too much suffering in this world. Then Krishna says, so yogi is greater than ascetic, greater than empiricist. Then Krishna says, yogi is greater than fruitive worker. Karmi bhas cha adhiko yogi. Tasma yogi bhava Arjuna. So Krishna is requesting, you can say, to Arjuna, that you become, in all circumstances, be a yogi. So what is yogi? Now, Prabhu's and Mother, if you go to the first verse in this chapter, first verse, this question arises that who is sannyasi, who is yogi? And I am one of you. Are you yogi or sannyasi, or you are both or none of, or neither? The first verse in this chapter, it starts with ana ashrita karma phalam karjam karma karotija. Bhagavan, direct Bhagavan is speaking. Anashrita karma phalam karjam karma karotija sasannasija yogicha non niragnina chakri. So let us read this purport and then we come back to this. Very interesting. Okay. Prabhu, you can go little down, purport. I don't see the purport, Prabhu.
Leela Prabhu, you are sharing this. Yeah.
Okay. So here Prabhupada writes, when we speak of yoga, we refer to linking our consciousness. Isn't so simple but so beautiful the way Prabhupada says. Prabhus and mothers, I'm asking you a question. Are you trying to link your consciousness to Krishna? Yes or no? Then
Yes.
you are that yogi. So it is not just Bhagavad Gita or Arjuna. It is for us, Krishna is saying. He's addressing us. So let's see. Next line. When we speak of yoga, we refer to linking our consciousness, Prabhupada writes. Then he says, with the supreme absolute truth. So there is a two division. Prabhupada is not saying it, but you have to divide in this way. That Prabhupada is saying, when we speak of yoga, we refer to linking up our consciousness with the supreme absolute truth. That means there are some who are also linking up consciousness, not necessarily Krishna as a person, but Krishna as impersonal. Then Prabhupada writes, such a process is named differently by various practitioners in terms of a particular method adopted. Very nice. When the linking up process is predominantly in fruitive activities, it is called karma yoga. What does that mean? When the linking up process is predominantly in fruitive activities, means they will come to temple, they will worship Krishna, but they have a tendency of baniya. I want good health. My daughter should get married. My son should get a good job. My Lord, I'm not feeling well, make me a little happy. Some interest is there. So they come to Krishna, seems like they are devotee. Not yet. Yes, they have come to Krishna, but they have some motive. So what is the difference? We'll find it soon. Then Prabhupada writes, when it is predominantly empirical, it is called Jnana Yoga. Means they just want to completely disconnect from the world and situate in themselves. There's one thing missing in both categories. I hope you can catch it. And then Prabhupada writes, when it is predominantly in devotional relationship with the Supreme Lord, it is called Bhakti Yoga or Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga or Krishna consciousness is the ultimate perfection of all yogas. As will be explained in the next verse, the Lord has confirmed herein the superiority of yoga, but he has not mentioned that it is better than Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is full spiritual knowledge, and as such, nothing can excel it. Asceticism without self-knowledge is imperfect. Empiric knowledge without surrender to Supreme Lord is also imperfect. Prabhupada is so wonderful. He's just giving us the what to focus. What is the mistake in this people's process or in their idea? Then Prabhupada writes, and fruitive work without Krishna consciousness is a waste of time. Therefore, the most highly praised form of yoga performance mentioned here is Bhakti Yoga. This is still more clearly explained in the next verse. So we can do one of the two things. Let us read the next verse and then we'll discuss. Yogina. You can bring so other can follow. Next one, Prabhu. Good. Everybody, you can chant together. Yoginam api sarvesam madgate nantara atmana saddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo mataha. Here, yoginam is plural, means of all yogis. Api also, sarvesam. Sarvesam means amongst all varieties. If we go, Prabhu, word to word meaning, let me see what Prabhupada says here. Sarvesam, all types of, just little more down, just to see the word meaning. Because this verse is so important, this verse. The word has a very deep meaning, and Prabhupada's transliteration has a very condensed meaning. Thank you, Prabhu. Madgatena, abide in me, always thinking of me. And that's very nice, Prabhupada says. You can say Madgatena means goes to God, goes to him. But Prabhupada writes always thinking of me. Very practical translation. Antaha Atmana, within himself. Sadhavan, in full faith. Bhajate, renders transcendental loving service. Ya, one who, mam, to me, the Supreme Lord. Sah, he, may, by me, Yukta Tamaha, the greatest yogi. Mataha is considered. Translation. Little more down, Prabhu. You have to go down, translation. Okay. And of all yogis, the one with great faith, who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me. He is the most intimately united with me in yoga, and is the highest of all. That is my opinion. Krishna is so kind. He could have said, this is the truth. He said, this is my opinion. He's just becoming one of the opinionator. Very interesting. Okay, the purport. If you go down a little more, Prabhu, the word bhajate is significant here. Bhajate has its root in the verb bhaj, which is used when there is a need of service. The English word worship, English word worship cannot be used in the same sense as bhaj. Worship means to adore or to show respect and honor to the worthy one. But service with love and faith is especially meant for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One can avoid worshipping a respectable man or a demigod and may be called discouragers, but one cannot avoid serving the Supreme Lord without being thoroughly condemned. Every living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thus every living entity is intended to serve the Supreme Lord by his own constitution. Failing to do this, he falls down. The Bhagavatam 11.5.3 confirms this as follows. Ya yesham purusham sakshat atma prabhavam isharam na bhajanti avajananti sthanad arshatya patanti adhaha. Anyone who does not render service and neglects his duty unto the primeval Lord, who is the source of all living entity, will certainly fall down from his constitutional position. Interesting. So this is one of the reasons how we fell. In this verse also the word bhajanti is used. Therefore, bhajanti is applicable to the Supreme Lord only. Whereas the word worship can be applied to demigod or any other common living entity. The word avajananti used in this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam is also found in the Bhagavad Gita. Avajananti mam mudha. Only the fools and rascals deride the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. Such fools take it upon themselves to write commentaries on Bhagavad Gita without an attitude of service to the Lord. Consequently, they cannot properly distinguish between the word bhajanti and the word worship. The culmination of all kinds of yoga practices lies in bhakti yoga. All other yogas are but means to come to the point of bhakti in bhakti yoga. Yoga actually means bhakti yoga. All other yogas are progression towards the destination of bhakti yoga. From the beginning of karma yoga to the end of bhakti yoga is a long way to self-realization. Karma yoga without fruitive result is the beginning of this path. When karma yoga increases in knowledge and renunciation, the stage is called jnana yoga. Okay, I hope everybody got it. When karma yoga increases in knowledge and renunciation, the stage is called jnana yoga. When jnana yoga increases in meditation on the super soul by different physical process and the mind is on him, it is called ashtanga yoga. And when one surpasses the ashtanga yoga and comes to the point of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, it is called bhakti yoga, the culmination. Factually, bhakti yoga is the ultimate goal. But to analyze bhakti yoga minutely, one has to understand these other yogas. The yogi who is progressive is therefore on the true path of eternal good fortune. One who sticks to the particular point and does not make further progress is called by that particular name: karma yogi, jnana yogi, dhyana yogi, raja yogi, hatha yogi, etc. If one is fortunate enough to come to the point of bhakti yoga, it is to be understood that he has surpassed all the yogas. Therefore, to become Krishna conscious is the highest stage of yoga. Just as when we speak of Himalayan, we refer to the world's highest mountain, of which the highest peak, Mount Everest, is considered to be the culmination. It is by great fortune that one comes to Krishna consciousness on the path of Bhakti Yoga to become well situated according to the Vedic direction. The ideal yogi concentrates his attention on Krishna, who is called Shama Sundara, who is as beautifully colored as a cloud, whose lotus-like face is as effulgent as the sun, whose dress is brilliant with jewels, and whose body is flower garlanded. Illuminating all sides is his gorgeous luster, which is called Brahma Jyoti. He incarnates in different forms, such as Rama, Nishinga, Varaha, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he descends like a human being as the son of Mother Yashoda. He is known as Krishna, Govinda, and Vasudeva. He is the perfect child, husband, friend, and master. He is full with all opulences, transcendental qualities. If one remains fully conscious of these features of the Lord, he is called the highest yogi. This stage of the highest perfection in yoga can be attained only by Bhakti Yoga, as is confirmed in all Vedic literature. Chasya deve para bhakti, jatha deve tatha guru, tasyaite katita hi artha prakashante mahatmanah. Only unto those great souls who have implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual master are the imports of Vedic knowledge automatically revealed. Shatashatar Upanishad 6.23. Bhaktir asya bhajanam tad ihamutrapadi nairashayana mushmin manah kalpanam etad eva naishkrimam. Bhakti means devotional service to the Lord, which is free from desire for material profit, either in this life or in the next. Devoid of such inclination, one should fully absorb the mind in the Supreme. That is the purpose of Naishkarma. Gopal Tapadi Upanishad 1.5. These are some of the means for performance of bhakti or Krishna consciousness, the highest perfectional stage of the yoga system. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport to the 6th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of Dhyana Yoga. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So in text 46, Krishna gave comparative and 47 superlative. How? By the mentality. How people think when they practice whatever religion or spiritual practice they do. In 46, we find Tapasvi is a person who performs austerities. So Krishna says, better than the person who performs austerities is the person who does yoga, adhika yogi, better than the person who is jnani. Jnanibhopi mato adhika. Greater than the person who is jnani is the person who is yogi. And greater than the person who is karmi is yogi. Karmi bhascha adhiko yogi. Therefore, Arjuna, you should be a yogi. Okay, that's nice. Tasmat yogi bhavarjuna. Krishna is telling all of us to become a yogi. So are you all yogi or sannyasi?
Yogi. Jai Shri Krishna.
Because we are trying to connect consciousness with Krishna. So we are all yogi. This is the first verse of this chapter. Anasrita karma phalam karjam karma karoti ja sasannasi cha yogi cha niragni na chakriya. Are you all sannyasi? You are yogi, you say. Are you all sannyasi? Anybody would like to help me with the answer?
No, Prabhuji.
No.
No. What is the definition of sannyas? Anasrita karma phalam, the first sloka of this chapter. If you go back, the first sloka, if you can look at it, you don't have to put it out. I'm just asking a simple question. Just if you think of the first chapter, first sloka, the sloka Krishna give a definition of yoga and sannyas. So when you go to temple, you are singing, you paying obeisances, you are maybe cleaning temple, or you helping in cooking, or you helping in serving prasadam, or you doing some service. Are you getting paid for it? No. You're not thinking of going to temple to get paid. You just go there to serve. Anasrita karma phalam, that's what it says. One who does work without taking shelter of phalam or result. They are called sannyasi. So you all are already sannyasi. Sannyasi means you do not want to keep on enjoying this sense enjoyment. You want to withdraw. Wait a minute. That doesn't mean we cannot maintain our body. No. This is, you must maintain your body. But you eating to maintain this body so you could serve. Who is your family? They are all Krishna's devotee. You have to go to work, yes, to maintain Krishna's family. Bhalo mando nahi jani seva matra kori tomaro sansare ami vishaya prahari. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I'm the guard. He was a deputy magistrate, but he considered himself, I'm the security guard of your house, Prabhu. He had all these children, wife, but he didn't consider them his. He said, they belong to Krishna. Krishna appointed me to take care and serve them. He is perfect sannyasi. He is perfect yogi. So each of you are. Sannyasi doesn't mean saffron cloth only and a stick. Sannyasi means you don't expect separate existence, separate identity, separate interest away from Krishna. You serve the devotee. You serving your family. They're all devotee. Krishna assigned you to take care of them. You have to take care such a way that they become a very good devotee because you're caring, you're loving nature. So you all are sannyasi and you all are yogi, both. We are the real, actually the devotees are the real yogi, real sannyasi, not others. This is what Krishna gave in the beginning. Now at the end is very interesting. So In this chapter, Sri Krishna seems to be offering a very strong endorsement of yoga. Naturally, the chapter is yoga, so naturally Sri Krishna will talk about yoga. But Prabhus and mothers, I hope you all know, Krishna did not divide this by the yoga chapter. Prabhupada changed some of the title of the Krishna or Arjuna or Vyasdev did not divide the chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna only spoke to Arjuna in a dialogue form, like a friend. And there are actually, if you look at Bhagavad Gita, the whole Bhagavad Gita can be seen in a 3 level. One level is, it is a conversation that is successful in its fruit. You can look at that way. What is that means? That means, okay, first of all, at one level, it is a conversation that is successful in its fruit. Another level, you can say, it is a conversation that is unsuccessful. And third level, you can say, the success depends on each of us. What does that mean? Well, Krishna and Arjuna, at one level, it is a conversation between these two great personalities. And Krishna purpose to convince Arjuna, persuading Arjuna. And if you look at 1873, when you come to 18th chapter, you look at 1873, Krishna got it. Arjuna surrendered. He said, yes. Nasta moha smriti labda tat prasadat maya uchchita stitoshmi gata sandhya karishye vachanam tava. Karishye vachanam tava. Yes, my Lord, I'm ready to perform devotion service, whatever way, whichever service you. He didn't say I'll fight. This is surrender, means any service. So Krishna succeed. This is a one level of understanding of Bhagavad Gita. Another level, it is a conversation between Sanjaya and Dhritarashtra. Same time, the Krishna Arjuna speaking in the battlefield and Dhritarashtra, they are also having conversation, they are hearing. Bhagavad Gita began with Dhritarashtra, he is listening. In one sense, Sanjaya failed. Sanjaya fails in one sense, because Dhritarashtra's heart did not change, Prabhus and mothers. But the message of Bhagavad Gita is so glorious that just by repeating that message, Sanjaya was in ecstasy right in front of Dhritarashtra. He was filled with ecstasy. And if you look at the last few verses of 18th chapter, he was trembling. He was overwhelmed with emotion, feeling for Vyasdev, his guru, where he said repeatedly he's listening Krishna and Arjuna's conversation. He's in ecstasy. But right across from him, Dhritarashtra, who was not ecstasy at all. He was not ready to surrender. So it's two different levels. I hope you all understanding that. Every moment, 1876, if you look at that verse, Rajan Samasrita, Sambadam Imam Adbhutam, Keshava Arjunayo Punnam, Rishyayami cha Muhur Muhu. Beautiful. Every moment I'm in ecstatic. So Srila Prabhupada says something, which I was reading last month about this, that in the purport, that actually the result of Krishna consciousness is one enjoys life not just occasionally, but with a thrill at every moment. Prabhus and mothers, this is my request. I hope you are enjoying happy, joyful, Krishna conscious life. If not, a simple step you follow. Try to see Krishna philosophically first. Don't try to see Krishna with your eye. Don't do eye exercise. Yes, eye is a medium, but eye exercise will not give you Krishna. You have to remember Krishna's divine quality. This is called philosophically. So Krishna is giving philosophy to Arjuna, many chapters. And Arjuna will start seeing Krishna with philosophically first. So this is first. Try to see Krishna philosophically. Second, try to see Krishna practically. Chapter 7, 8, 9, 10. Krishna is telling in everywhere he is, even in the sound. He says, Shabdake, I'm the sound. Anything you like, nature, anyway, Krishna is there. 10 chapters, 72 things Krishna says, you can see me everywhere. Jayanta Prabhu told Prabhupada, no, devotee introduced, he's a playboy, French in Paris, he's a playboy. Prabhupada said, what is playboy? Oh, he just plays with the girls. He likes the girls. So Jayanta Prabhu told me personally, he's a sannyasi now. So he said, Prabhupada said, oh, that's nice. You should tell all the girls that you will introduce Krishna, who will never cheat them. And you tell them that you will cheat them. So they translated him in French. The next day when Prabhupada morning walk, he saw him, he said, did you tell your girlfriends? And he says, oh my God, he's serious. He really wants me to tell all my girlfriend. And Prabhupada said, yes. And then at that moment, he asked a beautiful question. He says, but I'm not interested in God, Krishna. Prabhupada said, are you interested in anything in life? He said, yes, I'm interested in girls and flowers. Prabhupada said, that's very nice. Your duty now to research, analyze what is in the girl and flower that attracts you. Then you will be successful. In 10th chapter Bhagavad Gita, you will see. This is explained. It is Krishna. So wherever we are, we can go there. So Bhagavad Gita is seen in 3 levels. Of course, each of us, we are listening, but we have our own perception. How we see Bhagavad Gita, how we hear, how we act on it. So this chapter, Krishna seems to be offering a very strong endorsement of yoga. Now, naturally, the chapter yoga is naturally Sri Krishna talking about yoga, but he's talking about yoga which leads to a particular perfection, Prabhus and mothers. So here the word yoga primarily means connection with absolute truth. He is speaking about his own connection, how we all can connect. So having a connection with the absolute truth through a yoga, whichever yoga you may follow, having a connection is more important than just doing the austerities. Then just cultivating knowledge or just doing work. The point here is connection with the absolute truth is preferably to any other things which you may consider spiritual. I hope everybody understood this. Connection with Krishna, whatever yoga you do. I mean, I go also yoga society, yoga studio to give a speech, Hari Kirtan, and then. But the point that we should hammer, this is what Krishna is telling us, that the connection is important, but connection with him is important. So the point is connection. Yoga means connection. Now, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada emphasized this point very clearly. When we speak of yoga, we refer to linking our consciousness with Supreme Absolute Truth. This is possible by various processes. Here, Srila Prabhupada is talking about what are the problem with other process. Let's say the people who are in austerity or do austerity. Asceticism without knowledge is imperfect, which means one is doing austerity, but one is not connecting one's inner reality. One is not connecting supreme reality, which is Krishna. Self-knowledge refers just not the knowledge of soul, but it also refers Atma as a part of supreme soul. So mere asceticism is not much use. It may be useful in improving one's health, but more transcendental perspective, it is not much use, Prabhus and Mothers. King Kulashekar, you all know King Kulashekar, Prabhupada sing his song, Mukundamala Stotram. King Kulashekar says in Mukundamala Stotram, that Prabhupada translated halfway, without remembrance of Sri Krishna, fasting is simply an exercise of fat removal. Ekadashi is coming. I think it's on Sunday or Saturday. Anyway, Ekadashi is coming. So, if you really think what King Kulashekar says, say if you are not remembering Krishna, then your fasting is not producing result that you are looking for. Prabhupada is so genius. I remember in chapter 7, Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada talks about fasting on Ekadashi. Because ascetic, we are also doing austerity. But the main point is not just the fasting. Prabhupada said, what is the value of fasting? Fasting means you connecting, you minimizing your bodily demand and memorizing or remembering Govinda. I'm paraphrasing, I don't have the Nectar of Devotion right in front. So if we are fasting and you are not remembering Krishna or studying Krishna book or Bhagavad Gita, then what is the value of your fasting? Rather, you honor some food, Ekadashi, non-grain food, and think of Krishna. The purpose is not fasting from food. Purpose is to connect with Krishna more closer, deeper. People just fast to negate the drives of the body, just to prove that, yes, I can control myself. Of course, the most popular reason for fasting is to reduce weight in America also. Our society is society where, obesity, people who are fat. Anyway, I don't go that route. But the point is that there is a purpose why we also do austerity. Fasting every Ekadashi. But fasting is, Prabhupada made it very clear. So, most highly praised form of yoga performance mentioned here is Bhakti Yoga. This is still more clearly explained in the next verse. And let's discuss the next verse, Prabhupada's purport. I'm looking at it in my book. Prabhupada says, Yoginam api sarvesam, among all kinds of yogi, Madgatena antara atmana. Antara atmana. Within oneself, what should be done, Madgate? One think about me, makes me the gati, makes me the goal. Saddhavan, with faith. What does one do with faith? Bhajate jomam, worship me. Same jukta tamamata. Such a person is most intimately united with me. Yukta tamam. So there are many significant words in this moving downward. Juktatomo. Generally, there are degrees of endorsement. There can be good, better, and best. So best is the highest endorsement. It is superlative. Similarly, in Sanskrit, there are superlative. Jukta is good. It is well connected. Shri Krishna has used the word repeatedly in Bhagavad Gita, in this chapter itself, as well as elsewhere in this chapter. 6.8, the famous verse, I love that verse also. Jnana Vijnana Juktatma Kutosto Vijitende Jukta iti uchyate yogi. Famous verse. About us. He's talking about us. When you are performing devotional service, what will be your consciousness? So there can be, Prabhus and Mother, there can be many levels of understanding. At faithless level, one may say, I don't know whether Krishna exists in the heart. At another level, one may say, Krishna exists in heart, but Krishna is just a conception, which means it is good to think about God, but ultimately one has to go beyond God. There are millions of people think like that. So Prabhupada sees this problem and said that Mayavadis are also atheistic because they ultimately want to reject God. The atheists reject God by saying God doesn't exist. And Mayavadi also reject God by saying that God doesn't exist because we have to go beyond God for higher reality. They say that God is just a transitional reality, not the ultimate reality. So they may claim saying we are not atheistic, we are trans-theistic. Their ideas is that we go beyond belief in God. But, well, whatever the terminology is, the point is they are rejecting the personal God. Sri Krishna is saying that sort of conception is not proper. So this is beautiful. Actually, this sloka, I'm looking at the time, it's 9:30 already. This sloka is so beautiful. We can discuss this sloka again and again and again. In the beginning, I mentioned Bhagavad Gita talks about progression. Now, if you look at progression verses, the clear indication is in Bhagavad Gita, these two verses, 46 and 47, where Krishna is telling clearly that one path is higher than the other path. He is glorifying the path of yoga. So here he is saying that yogi is higher than tapasvi, yogi is higher than jnani, yogi is higher than karmi. Those who are follower of yoga tradition, just Prabhus and mothers, to this yoga society or just quote these two verses. That's enough. Say that yogi path is the greatest. Krishna established that. Case dismissed. But Krishna does not say that the path of yoga is greater than path of bhakti, Prabhus and mother. That's why the next verse is very important, 47. In fact, next verse says that among the yogi who is the best, yoginam api sarvesam. It says amongst all the yogi, madgatena antaratmana, one who thinks of me in his heart, saddaman bhajate joma. He worshipped me. Now, some people have the idea that the path of yoga teaches absorption and merger unto the oneness of the absolute. Is that yogi meditates on the super soul of the heart. When he advances on his meditation on the super soul, at that time, he realizes that I and the super soul are one. But Krishna is telling that highest yogi is Yukta Tama. Yukta, which indicates connection, it does not indicate oneness, Prabhu's and Mother. He could have said, Bhagavan could have said Ekatta or Sajujya. He said Yukta, means connection. There are two entities and are being connected. Krishna says Yukta Tama, most intimately connected. We sing Saddavan Bhajate Joma, one who has faith in me. Now, faith in Krishna is something which is required to start the process of bhakti. Why Krishna is talking about faith at this level of yogic perfection? He has already talked that yoga is higher than all other forms of transcendentalism. Of all other who follow the various different Vedic paths, then why he has talked about faith? What I understand, because anybody to follow any path require faith. If somebody is on topmost path, somebody is on the highest level of topmost path. So he said the path of yoga is the highest according to the hierarchy. 46 and 47. These two verses are the perfect. He's talking about the yogi who is the most intimately united. But then he talked about Shraddha for such a person. Why does Krishna say Shraddha? Bhajate jo mam. Says he worships me, he adores me, he serves me. So this indicates the faith in the transcendence of Krishna. That Krishna is not just the form of Brahman, has taken temporarily for elevating the conditioned soul. It is not that impersonal Brahman is higher than Krishna. One has to use Krishna's form to go beyond him. So here the word Shraddha, the faith that Krishna is the real eternal transcendental person. This is actually the conclusion of Arjuna also. At the end of 10th chapter, you will see, after Krishna speaks, Chatusloki Bhagavad Gita, Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan, Purusham Shashvatam Dibbam, Adi Devam Ajaviva. He uses very personalistic nouns to describe Krishna. He calls him Param Brahma. So he is not talking about low level of Brahman here. Mayavadi have an idea there is a low level of Brahma, higher level of Brahma. Here Arjuna is talking about Param Brahma. You are Param Brahma. So it's very beautiful. Say in 7.7, Matta Parataranannat Kinchidasti Dhananja. There is nobody is equal or above. Krishna also said later in 12th chapter, Maye Avashya Mano Nitta Jukta Upasate. Many verses like this. 17.4, he said, Jadante Sattiki Devam. He said, what is that verse? Jajante Sattiki Devam. Yes, Jaksha Raksha, Jaksha Rakshasmi Rajasaham. Pretan Bhuta Gunash Channe Jajante Tamasha Jana. That's right, correct. Means those who are in the mood of goodness, they worship demigod. Those who are in the mood of passion, worship demons. People love the leader, political leader. And those who are in the mood of ignorance, they worship ghost and spirit. Prabhu, I live in Florida, South Florida, Miami area, there is voodoo. In America, I'm talking about voodoo worshipper. They're all ghost worshipper. Not one, two. You're talking about thousands and thousands. They live in America. And then Krishna says, those who worship me with transcendental faith, they are the best, O Arjuna. So there is a gradation. Many places in Bhagavad Gita. So in the beginning, I asked that question, do all paths lead to the same goal? Yes, I'll end with this conclusion. The same goal. Not that every path will lead the same. If they know what the goal is. If Karmis, Yogis, Gyanis, they all know that their ultimate goal is Krishna, to serve him, please him, then they adapt their path for transitional purposes of elevation. Ultimately come to Krishna. Even Prabhupada did Hatha Yoga, no? Every day he went for a walk. What is walking? It's a Hatha Yoga. Harmonizing his physical body because doctor told that he should go for a walk. He needs some exercise. And Prabhupada immediately agreed. He was on the next room and he called. He said, yes, I would like to adapt this. I will go morning walk. This is Hatha Yoga. Means harmonizing the physical body with physical world. So we do this. We do pranayam every day in every temple. What is that? Dancing and chanting is the best pranayam, Prabhupada writes in the purport. We don't need to adapt any other separate. We have all the yoga, but ultimate yoga is absorption in Krishna, pleasing him. You know, whether you are all the devotees in the temple, I see they are focusing on this. That's why all the paths will lead to the same goal, but if the same goal is not clear to people, they have their goal, then all paths will not lead to the same goal. All paths will lead to different goal according to that one individual conception is. Srila Prabhupada would not quote the second part of 4:11. He always quote the first part. I don't know why. It's interesting because he wanted to hammer that point. Je jathamam prapaddante tatsateva bhajamyaham. So this is very nice. We can rephrase the commentary that all path leads to the same goal to all paths are meant to lead us to the same goal. But all paths do not lead us all the way to the same goal. The ultimate goal is to go beyond of this world to Krishna's lotus feet. So the path of karma takes us only particular along the way till heaven. If you really think, what is karma? Karma kanda ultimate boils down to the heavenly enjoyment. In this world, heavenly enjoyment. Then the ultimate goal is to go beyond this world to the spiritual world, to Krishna's lotus feet. So the path of karma takes us only partially, you can say. I mean, to go to Goloka, you have to pass through heaven also. To Brahmaloka, Biraja, Vaikuntha, Mahaprabhu says, all this. It's not like you go to sleep, you wake up, you are in Golok Vrindavan. Not like that, Prabhus and Mothers. I hope you all know. You actually pass through all these layers. But we are going in an elevator, you can say. Elevator, you'll see second floor, third floor, fourth floor, you're passing. Because one Gurukuli boy said, I want to just close my eye, go to sleep and wake up in Golok Vrindavan. Is it possible? I said, no, it is the evolution of consciousness. So the ultimate goal is to go beyond of this world to spiritual world, to Krishna's lotus feet. So the path of karma takes us particular way till Sarga. And path of Jnana takes us little more up to Brahma Jyoti. That's what impersonalist takes us. But the path of Yoga takes us along the way till further than the path of Karma, Gyan, till Paramatma realization. But not fully. So all the paths do not take us all the way to the same goal. Only path which takes us to the ultimate goal, that goal is not everything. That ultimate goal is very specific person. And that it is that specific person who is ultimate goal of Bhagavad Gita. Lord Shri Krishna. Hare Krishna. Sorry, Prabhu, I went little over the time. There's so much to say on this verse. Any reflection? Anyone has any?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really-
Jai Shri Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare.
Thank you. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. You have given very nice explanation of both the verses and very philosophical statements that you made. So give some examples of Srila Prabhupada for our practical use. Very nice. Thank you so much. And we hope that you will continue to come to Parsadi Foundation so we can also get advantage of your realization and get your Vani association on the Zoom platform. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Now I will turn over to Amit Prabhu just to see if have any questions or comments or reflections.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for giving us such a wonderful lecture. And if you have some time, can we have some questions, if we have any?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Dear devotees, if anybody has any questions related to today's lecture, please raise your hands and we would like to go one by one. Krishna Manju Mataji, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Don't unplug the charger.
Krishna.
Okay, I have one question about that thinking process. You says philosophically, practically, and what is the third one?
Spontaneously.
Spontaneously.
Spontaneously is our ultimate goal. But now, don't try to see practically first. Try to see through philosophy. Krishna says, I'm in the deity form. Krishna says, I am in the sound. Like this, you think, okay, he's in the sound. Krishna is the sound. Hare Krishna, like this. Philosophically, it's very important.
And practically, what is that example?
Practically, you will see later chapter in Bhagavad Gita, like amongst aquatic, I'm shark. So you see the shark, you know, where is Krishna? Krishna says, I'm the shark among the aquatic. Immediately it will remind you to Krishna and you will meditate on Krishna. Anything, you see the color of the fruits or anything, anywhere, anybody, anything you see. Krishna is in the heart. Okay, immediately you see a person. You immediately remember Krishna. Everything's this is a 4th chapter, very vividly explained. 7, 8, it goes like this.
Okay, chapter 4. Okay.
Yes. Next chapter actually starting.
Any slokas that particularly any slokas?
Oh, the whole chapter. Like
whole
chapter 10 has a 72 object. And I was thinking one day, you know, out of 72, how many are actually all of them? You'll be like surprised. Like how to remember Krishna. Just so Krishna is so kind. He said how practically we'll see. So first we'll philosophically we start seeing him, then practically, then spontaneously. Spontaneous means you are already liberated. You are in a level of Golok Bhashi.
Liberated position.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. And thank you for your explanation. You just specifically cleared this, our consciousness, how to use it and how to apply ourselves also in that situation. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Mihika, please ask your question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for the class, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
I really liked the explanation that you gave on the verse, especially the last verse, because like you said like the last one was very important, and all the nice explanation you gave on it. So Prabhuji, like you said in there, like at one time you said that we should like work for Krishna and like we shouldn't think of like the consequences. So Prabhu, my question is that we've heard that Krishna described to Arjuna 3 steps in how to work and not to work for ourselves. So one of them is work for Krishna and forget working for yourselves. So Prabhuji, like a common answer is to keep practicing. So can you explain a little detailed answer on how to work for Krishna and prevent but especially like when it's like different prashadam or anything, it's like our thing comes first, that we want to fulfill our desire. So can you elaborate on that and how we should prevent that from happening?
One, the difficult way which you can do, study all the scriptures in our Vedic school, all the Veda, all everything. Or if you want easiest way, find a teacher. In ISKCON we have many, we call Guru, perfect follower of Prabhupada and Krishna. They are 24 hours engaged. Just take shelter of that person, say, please guide me what to do now. Then you don't have to go through whole study of all the scriptures and get like bombarded or loaded with. You can just go with a simple thing and they will see your condition, where you are, how much you can do, what is good for you. And they will, just like a doctor, they will prescribe exactly what will purify your existence and you will be completely out of this material condition. That's the cheapest, easiest, best recommendation.
Yes, thank you very much, Prabhuji, for the answer. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Keith, can you like unmute yourself and ask a question?
Hare Krishna, Krishna. I wanted to thank you personally, of course. Pram Govinda Das, you are amazing. And I thought it may warm your heart that Jai started chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya before he went to sleep. And that's how he fell asleep tonight. And my one question is how may I serve you? Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful.
Thank you
Just
very
by hearing these classes, you are already serving everyone. Because by hearing, it is pleasing Krishna. Krishna says, many questions you can ask. Should I give up the material enjoyment or should I focus on spiritual enjoyment first? So many things you can say. But if you come to next class, the 7th chapter, first sloka, Krishna answered that question. Maya shakta mana partha jogam junjam madashraya. Asamsama samagram jatha geshashi tat srinu. He didn't say what to do, what not to do. He said, just listen. Just listen, here. And if you listen about him, he says, you will get asamsaya, without doubt, you will develop a strong faith in him. In our practical life, idea comes first. When idea is conceptualized, intelligence captures, mind focus on it, mind absorbs on it, mind goes with it, then body follows. So by listening, this will happen. Thank you, Dr. K. This was a wonderful question.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. I don't see any other hands raised for the questions or any explanations or yeah. So if you allow, Prabhuji, can we wind up the call?
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for a wonderful lecture and giving us the nectar of that verses of 46 and 47 to all of us. And we request you to come frequently to Parsarthi Foundation and provide the same to all of us so that we can get benefited from them. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, quick question, sorry.
Yeah, Prabhu.
Uttamananda Prabhu.
Is this class started new?
Yes, Prabhu.
For every day?
No, Harilila Prabhu just invites out of his mercy whenever he thinks that I need some medicine, spiritual medicine. He sent me a text.
Okay, thank you so much.
You'll know when he sent me. I'll post it, Prabhu.
Okay. Thank you so much. Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Dhanyavad, Prabhu.
Dhanyavad. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpataruvasya kripa sindhuvaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sarva
Jai.
Vaishnava Vrinda ki
Jai. His Grace Pran Govind Prabhu ki Jai. So
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai, Jai, Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.